Combat USA, bringing you MMA looking state to state for the top 8 here on prime time, putting it all on the line for this one chance, for this one moment to stand up and shine. Combat USA, we're here to stay. Top 8 to the state. Let us try it. Bitch, train real hard. Mixed martial arts. Adrenaline pumping. No holds barred. Combat USA, we're here to stay. Top 8 to the state. Let us try it. Bitch, train real hard. Mixed martial arts. Adrenaline pumping. No holds barred. Got G's on the table. Best believe those that are able to stand and show their skill will grab your soul by the root and recruit to the chosen few. To stand up in ground is just what we do. You may think that you're fast to take a deal with the jiu-jitsu master, and it could be a disaster. To untrained technique, this is not for the weak. You get put to sleep if you're not ready for the fight. Stay in stance, cause I've got heavy hands. Best believe I can dance. I've got plans for that ring. I don't care about the blink. I need the championship of it. I need to show the whole world that I love it. Combat USA, we're here to stay. Top 8 to the state.
Welcome to Combat USA Fighting Championships. We're here today with a special edition. It is the top 10 knockouts of all time inside Combat USA. And hosting this show with me is going to be the ever impressive Ron Faircloth. Ron, glad to have you here today. You got to see a little bit of these clips in advance. What do you think about tonight's show?
It's exciting, you know, the dynamic range of these knockouts and the different ways they come. I was actually at most of these, so it's going to be fun to just kind of review them.
Yeah, it's like a time machine.
Kind of, yes. We're going back to the future. As soon as we hit 88, the flux capacitor kicks in, boom, we're right back there.
Just like that. And it takes the ever impressive Combat USA crew to make something like that happen.
Right, yeah, they do top-notch work.
Bringing us back in time. Let's go way back in time, and let's start off with our number 10 knockout of all time in Combat USA history. We are going to bring you to the UFC veteran, continuing to fight in the UFC, Patrick Barry.
Yeah. You know, I don't know who would fight Pat Barry, but you know, I know I don't want to fight him, so well, you know, let these guys have him.
That's right. Patrick Barry got his first MMA fight right here with Combat USA. Matter of fact, he only fought for Combat USA before moving to the UFC. A little Combat USA fact that you may or may not know.
Right.
You probably should know because we say it all the time.
Right, well, it's like a calling card.
It is.
Good stuff.
So Patrick Barry gets a leg stoppage with Mike Delaney. You know Mike Delaney.
I do. I'm very good friends with Mike Delaney. And you know, what people don't know about Mike Delaney is, I mean, he's fought a plethora of tough people. You know, I mean, the who's who. He beat Bobby Hoffman. He's fought Jeremy Horn, Jeff Monson, Wilson Govea. He's, you know, so he's no stranger to tough competition. What he was evidently a stranger to is hard leg kicks. And turns out Pat's got him.
Yes, he does. You know, and I believe this was Pat's either first or second MMA fight. And let me tell you, he came with a kickboxing pedigree. So when you're putting a guy with a kickboxing pedigree into the sport of mixed martial arts, it's still very important to have him fight experienced fighters. You know, you don't take a guy with that kind of kickboxing experience and just because it's MMA, put him in a fight and have him fight a guy with, you know.
Right, yeah, you don't want him to jump in there and fighting chumps. And the fact that Pat would jump in his first fight and fight a warhorse like Delaney, it says something about the competition that he wants to face.
Absolutely.
And anytime you go in facing a guy wearing what appear to be bicycle shorts, and that's what Pat was wearing, like 70s runners. I don't know what they're called. I don't want to fight him. The guy's legs are as big as my waist. You know, come on, something's wrong.
He's a beast. One of his first fights, he fights Mike Delaney with over 30 fights, and he stops with a leg kick. Let's take a look. into number 9, we have got an impressive slam from a guy who's known for his slamming and wrestling. That's Rob Roy, and slamming a guy, Dennis Anderson.
Yeah, well, for one thing, Rob Roy is known for funk. You know, I mean, yeah, he's an awesome wrestler, but I've worked out with Rob, and he moves in ways that, I mean, just stupid ways. He keeps you from hitting him. He keeps you from wrestling him. You know, his jiu-jitsu's strong. And Dennis Anderson's an awesome wrestler. I've worked out with him, trained with him. He's a good wrestler. And got his hips a little too close to Rob, and this is what happens.
That's exactly right. We're going to check out Rob Roy, who is moving to the Wisconsin State Finals. He's going to be fighting for the state championship against another buddy of yours, James Warfield.
Yeah, and that's just a tough fight to call. That's two awesome guys, two of the best in the state. I mean, legitimately, the best the state has to offer, and it's going to be exciting.
It's going to be exciting, but let's see how Rob Roy got to the state finals, and this is how he did it.
Finally got it out and back to side control for Rob Roy.
I hear them ACS chants. You know, those boys they come in packs.
And this is the scramble you'd expect out of an ACS fighter. But who knew that Dennis Anderson would be game for us? Oh, and a slam. Looks like Anderson might be out.
Rob.
Moving on to number 8 on our list, it is the Tim Halleck versus David White fight. This is the fight that got Tim to advance to the upper brackets of the tournament and gave him a chance to fight. He moved on to fight Tony Rook. He dispatched Tony Rook quickly and now is moving to the state finals to fight Lenny the Smash Nelson. Yeah,
well, you know, the thing about Halleck is that the kid's a war machine. No matter what you do to him, he's gonna hit you, and he gets his hands on you. And this is kind of what happens. So, you know, I boxed with him. I don't like it either. Turns out he's trying to beat the old out of me, and it's just not working. So it turns out I have a lot of it.
There you have it. Spoken from a true veteran, Ron Faircloth. Let's take a look at our state finalist, Tim Halleck, fighting David White.
You know, the dungeon is real excited about Halleck, and that's why. He's explosive, he's powerful, put together, big right hand, and Tank White is down. We have a knockout in the first fight of the 2011 season. Javi,
He lived up to the hype. He lived up to the hype.
And he lived up to the hype.
So that was Tim Halleck, one of his knockouts that he's had as a professional. The kid's got hands of steel, and we're going to see how he does against another guy with hands of steel, Lenny Smash Nelson.
Yeah, well, like I said, Halleck's a legitimate thug, so Lenny's got his hands full, and I'm excited about that fight too.
It's going to be a good one. That'll be April 22nd at Oneida Casino. Let's move on to number 7 on the Combat USA countdown, and that is Lenny Smash Nelson, the guy who's going to be fighting Tim Halleck for the state finals, versus Maurice O'Neill.
Yeah, like I said, man, Lenny's another guy. He's great hands, and when he hits you, it hurts. And he's pretty much solid all around. But I really like the way he smacks Maurice down.
Yeah.
And I get off me.
That's about how it went.
Yeah, it is.
So we'll see why Lenny Nelson was a 2010 state champion in Wisconsin, and exactly what Tim Halleck's gonna have to face right here.
Looks like O'Neal got locked in. O'Neal's going down. He's down. And it is stopped.
Oh, O'Neal went out. O'Neal.
Ron, that shows us the pure power that Lenny Nelson has in his hands.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is? He slapped him at a downward angle. And that just clearly says, stay off me.
Well, it was an impressive fight. I think we're going to have more impressive fights on this countdown as we go, and even more impressive fights April 22nd at the state finals. But until then, let's hear a word from our sponsors.
Four-ounce Fight Gear, official sponsor of Combat USA. Developed for the fighters, by the fighters. Engineered specifically for today's top MMA fighters. It's not what you want, it's what you need.
It's what I need.
This is what I need.
For more info, check us out at 4ouncefightgear.com.
Bringing it 4 ounces at a time. Get slips.
You're going to be a great champion. There we go. Beautiful. Take him down. Take him down. There we go. It's all about fundamental. You take down, work to the center.
Combat USA Fighting Championship. We are MMA. Wisconsin State Finals, April 22nd, Oneida Casino.
All right, welcome back from commercial break. Hope you enjoyed as much as we did. Next up, Adam, we have number 6, Caleb Nelson versus Pennebaker. Two big guys, and I'm a big fan of Caleb.
Yeah.
It's like I said, another guy. He's a thug. You get close to him, he's gonna hit you. It's like fighting a piece of glass. No matter where you touch him, it's gonna hurt. So.
That was an interesting analogy.
Yeah, I like to use that. It's a lot of people maybe don't make sense of it, but makes up here.
Yeah, it makes good sense.
It works for me.
Hey, Caleb Nelson is the 2010 state champion at 205 pounds, and rightfully so. And this is exactly why.
Yeah, well, you know what it is? You got to like a guy that doesn't have to stand up to knock somebody out. I'm sitting on top of you. I'm still going to knock you out. And it's just good stuff. Quality, that's just quality performance. I want that kind of guy at my picnic.
That would be a good guy to have at your picnic.
It would.
Caleb Nelson, that's an official invitation to our next picnic.
I love you.
Check him out. Ron, now we're going to take a look at number 5 on our countdown, and we're bringing back Tim Halleck for yet another. He appears twice on this countdown list.
Right.
The guy's got 3 professional fights. 2 of them made our top 10 countdown list.
Yeah.
This is his pro debut on a very small show up in Peshtigo, Wisconsin. It wasn't part of the tournament. It wasn't part of our big operation. It was just a little show in the middle of Peshtigo, Wisconsin, and we got this native, Tim Halleck, who was making his pro debut. We were going to throw on the card, and boy, did we find a star.
Yeah, and like I said, man, the guy's got heavy hands, and it doesn't matter, where he's throwing them from his hips, from his shoulders. It does not matter. He hits you, you're going to know it. or maybe not know it. I don't know. I don't know what these guys remember when they come back around.
Yeah.
So,
well, if they're watching tonight, they're going to know it.
right. Well, they're probably going to be a little bit embarrassed.
Nothing to be embarrassed about.
No.
Obviously, there's a pattern here.
Yeah. Right. That's not a part of that's like not a quilt I want to be part of. So, yeah.
So will Tim Halleck go from a pro debut knockout in 1 year to the number one 170-pound fighter in the state? We're going to find out. But this is how we got to start.
Yeah.
There's Tim Halleck. Again, another great fight from him. We're going to see him fight live April 22nd, state finals. And it's going to be a great night. Moving on to number 4 of our countdown. This is a brutal knockout, Ron.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just not the way you want to be caught on film.
No. Well, wait. Depends on which guy you're talking about.
Depends on which guy you're talking about.
There's one of them I wouldn't mind being.
Yes. The other one didn't have such a good night.
No. And if I remember right at the time, Trey was undefeated.
He was. He was an undefeated professional fighter. This is Maurice O'Neal versus Trey Perkins. And Maurice O'Neal, this is the fight that got him into the state no, it wasn't the state. Yeah, it was the state finals to fight Lenny Nelson, where he got knocked out. We just saw. So this is how Maurice got to fight Lenny Nelson. And there you have it. Maurice O'Neal was definitely his day. Unfortunately for Trey, he had to take his first loss.
Yeah, that was tough.
That was a tough one. But we still love you, Trey. You're a great guy. Moving on to number 3, Josh Cassie versus Chris Bafura.
Yeah. Well, I don't even know what to say about Cassie, except don't let him put his shin on your head. And that's what he did, man. I mean, this is a perfect kick. And, yeah.
You spent some time training with Cassie. What do you think about him?
I love the kid. He's little, and he is, like I said, man, he is all war all the time. He just wants to go. And, and when you want to go all the time, this is what you get.
That's right. He knocked this out, secured his spot to fight Nick Aguilar in the state finals. That's going to be a brutal fight, man. I mean, that's a true test for Josh.
Well, like I said, man, I'm so excited about the finals with all these guys. There's some exciting matchups.
Yeah.
So, and this knockout is why things can be so exciting.
Yeah.
When every one of them could do something like this, it's exciting.
Here it is. Josh Cassie, Chris Bafura, number 3 on our top 10 Combat USA knockouts of all time.
His striking is real unorthodox, but very effective. Ooh, put some stank on that kick. Ooh,
he's tough kick, and he's down. Chris Bafura knocked out by a right leg kick. Holy cow, folks! It's all over.
Look at
Quickly, and Bavera has no idea.
And that was it, Ron. I mean, that is a pretty brutal head kick. You saw Chris trying to figure out where he was and get his balance after.
Yeah.
That's never good.
That made me uncomfortable. I'll be real honest.
Yeah.
It makes me feel scared in my heart.
In your heart?
My heart.
You have a heart?
It's little and it's off to the side, but left of center, Josh, you hurt me.
Left of center. All right, man, let's take a break. Let's go to our commercials. And this will be the last break. We'll come back with number 1 and number 2 of all time Combat USA knockouts. And boy, are you in for a treat.
4-ounce Fight Gear, official sponsor of Combat USA. Developed for the fighters, by the fighters. Engineered specifically for today's top MMA fighters. It's not what you want, it's what you need.
It's what I need.
This is what I need.
For more info, check us out at 4ouncefightgear.com.
Bringing it 4 ounces at a time.
Enjoy an adventure filled with thrills and fun. Oneida Casino offers guests the excitement of first-class entertainment with non-stop casino action and the luxury of the Radisson Hotel and Conference Center.
Try your luck at slots and a variety of table games, plus high-stakes bingo, poker, and off-track betting.
Visitors to Oneida Casino will never go hungry, no matter what you're in the mood for.
Watch the area's best live entertainment free in the Oneida Casino Lounge.
Oneida Casino.
Fun is our game.
Combat USA Fighting Championship. We are MMA. Wisconsin State Finals, April 22nd, Oneida Casino.
Welcome back from the commercial break. I am your host, Adam Sandoval, and with me today is the ever-impressive Ron, the blunt instrument, Faircloth.
Yeah. I'm just happy to be here.
You're an impressive fighter.
You know, I used to be something else.
Yeah?
My mom thinks I'm one of the best in the world.
Does she?
Yeah, it turns out she doesn't know a lot about fighting, but, well, you know, with that kind of support, I did okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're a good-looking man, too.
Dude, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. Yeah, I got a glow about me like I'm pregnant.
Yeah, it's almost like a pinkish tone.
Right. Well, I'm like a puce warrior.
I'm saying your aura, I'm seeing this.
Right,
It's
right.
friendly.
Yeah, I'm bi-furious.
Bi-furious.
So.
We got a bi-furious fighter here. His name's Ron Faircloth, and we are ever so lucky to have him part of this organization here with us today. But we've got an even... Well, I can't say more spectacular treat than Ron because I'm not sure there is any.
No, it's hard to beat it, but the fact of the matter is I do believe Pat Barry's back in the countdown.
Pat Barry may be in one of these last 2 fights.
Right.
And you're going to have to wait and see, but it might be right now. I think it's Pat Barry versus John George.
Yeah.
And at the time, John George was 13-9, and I think this was either Pat Barry's first or second fight. Whichever one was first, I'm not really sure. But it was one of his first fights. And he fought a 13-9 guy, John George.
Well, and not only that, not only was one of his first fights, it was one of his first strikes thrown in his first fights. As a matter of fact, I think it was the first strike thrown.
It was the first strike thrown in this fight. You've probably heard about it if you follow it at all. And it's Pat Barry's 1-second head kick knockout.
Yeah.
Let's let it speak for itself.
Especially this hybrid fighting. There's no, in boxing, the jab and grab or the lay and pray. We get after it here at hybrid fighting. Barry coming out as a southpaw.
Oh my God.
Holy God.
Wow. How about that? That is a head kick.
And that is how your favorite UFC fighter, Patrick Barry, got his start in mixed martial arts.
Yeah, you know, and if you see the guy anywhere outside of the training arena, the cage, you wouldn't think it.
Never. Nicest guy in the world.
Yeah, and those glasses he wears, very, very cosmopolitan. and then he'll just take his shoes off and kick your head off.
He's such a nice guy, though.
Oh,
good for the sport across the board.
Yeah, he's got a great smile.
Good for the sport across the board. Yeah, he's got a good smile. That brings us to our number one, Ron, and I'm pretty excited about this fight. When this happened, it was the last fight of the night. It was the main event, as was Patrick Barry's was the main event. But this was a main event on yet another night of Great Fights in Combat USA. This is one of them things where it's like you only see so many of these in a lifetime.
Yeah, no, it's Rick Rufus.
It is Rick
Holder
Rufus.
of what is it, 8 world titles?
He's got too many to count.
And stepping in to fight MMA.
Yeah.
And turns out he's just applying his wares. So, yeah.
It's Rick Rufus versus BJ Lacey, and it's one of Rick Rufus's first MMA fights, and you're going to see some devastating action here.
Yeah, no, it's exciting.
They say timing's important in fights.
Yeah, because I've thrown this exact same strike with the wrong timing, and I broke my arm. So
exactly.
It's impressive. Turns out he's thrown a couple more than I have, I would imagine.
Yeah, he's landed this one once or twice in his career.
I think so, because it is perfect. I mean, the most
Textbook.
perfect I've ever seen.
Textbook. Well,
Yeah.
Should we let him see it?
I think so.
All right. Ron says let you see it.
Enjoy.
Here it comes. Welcome back. That was the #1 knockout of all Combat USA history, and we had a hard time choosing between that and Patrick Barry's head kick.
Yeah, no, you know, either way, they're both exciting. This one took a little bit more precision.
Yeah.
And he tricked Lacey, telling him his shoes were untied.
Yeah, that was...
You know, get him to look down. Deceptive ninja stuff. He mastered the shadows, and there it was.
And that's how it's done. Try it in your next fight. We'll catch it on film. We'll put you on the top 10 knockouts of all time in Combat USA. It is a pleasure to be here. Remember, you can check us out on Facebook, Combat USA. On Facebook, you can check us out at combatusa.net online. You can check us out on YouTube. We got a lot of our fights there. Everything else, follow our action. It's Combat USA, and we bring you the best we can.
And April 22nd at Oneida Casino, it's the finals.
Don't forget it, state finals. We're going to find out who the best, undisputed. Say what you want. If you're too scared to get in the tournament, you can't claim you're the best, period. Fight the best, you become the best. It's the best in Wisconsin. At 4 weight classes, we're going to find out who it is.
And every year, the competition keeps going up.
It does.
These guys are figuring out that this is the best show in town, and they're coming to it.
It's Combat USA. Find it. Might be coming to your state next.
Combat USA, bringing you MMA looking state to state for the top 8 here on prime time, putting it all on the line for this one chance, for this one moment to stand up